What's up, guys? ThyrixSyx back again, and today I've decided to do a DeckTech. Sadly, not my junk token DeckTech. I'm still missing 2 voice resurgences, and I'd feel bad showing a proxy on my deck. So I decided to do my mono-white EDH deck. Fun EDH times, except this deck, some people don't think it's very fun. That is because I play all the swords, Uzau's Jitte, Stoneforge Mystic, Mother of Runes, board wipes, etc. Things that make people mad and sad. Until they kill me. And I can't do anything. I'm mono white. What do you want from me? I'm not playing blue. I'm not playing green. I'm not playing black. Can't tutor well. I ain't got no ramp. I ain't got no card draw. What the fuck am I supposed to do? Whatever. Anyway. So this is the first EDH deck I made. Pretty fun. Pretty fun to play. It's essentially like Death in Taxes White Weenie style. It thrives in like 3-player and 4-player where I'm able to actually kill someone. In like 5-player games, I like hurt one guy really bad, and then I was like, "Whoa, this guy's winning." It's a fun deck to play. If you like just white weenies, if you like playing equipment, if you like just fun taxing strategies, this is a really good deck for you. If you want like a bunch of colors, obviously this is a mono white deck. You don't want that. If you want to play a bunch of combos, there is, I think, one card that's an auto win. But that's just, like, because some people in my playgroup play, like, auto-win cards, and it's just, if they're going to play auto-win cards, I want to be able to just auto-win. If you like to draw a bunch of cards or tutor cards, then this deck's not for you. But if you just like playing good, efficient dudes and getting in there with swords, it's the deck for you. My general right now is 8.5 Tails. Used to be a Chroma, then was, like, fucking Kemba. I switch them out sometimes. I'm thinking about putting Isamaru Hound of Kanda in there as the general. This deck can play really aggressive. It can just get in the crazy beats early, and I figured that's a good card, but if it's not the general, I'm not sure I'd want to play it. Just a 1-mana 2/2. I am happy that clones will no longer be able to kill my creatures. For this deck, the deck's some sad. I like clones. Anyway, so yeah, let's get to the deck. Okay, guys, so, as I said, here's the general, 8.5 Tails. He's, pretty awesome. I really like the ability. He has 3 mana, just protect whatever you want. He's a 2-drop, so, he comes down early if you just want to get in beats. He's essentially unblockable in that you can just give him protection from white, or, like, if I have Sword of War and Peace on him, he just has protection from white. And you can just make everything white and just get in. He's good at defending any of your sword bearers. If he gets killed, he just costs 4, which is still decent for what he is. I love using him. I used to have, like, a Chroma. She costs tons. She's still in the deck because she was the first general of it, so, I mean, I kind of had to. I'd feel bad. I do feel bad. But 8.5 is awesome. I don't know why people refer to him as a girl. There's nothing that, makes it seem like a girl. I believe he's referenced as a he in, on a different card. I don't know what that card is, but I'm going to try to look it up and maybe post it on the screen. So, there's that. And then I just have a bunch of tokens. Tokens that are in the deck, I make angels. Oh, I'm giving you a little spoiler with what I make. Make some cats. Make goats. That's actually just for Plane Chase. I play Plane Chase a lot when I play EDH. And, I would say that the goat plane is everyone's favorite. Like, just goats. Make soldiers, make germs, and I make some wolves. I couldn't decide which one I like better, so I put both in. So yeah, there's that. So here's the lands. Even playing mono white, I still play like 36 lands. Too many times when I played like 34, it was just I'd get mana screwed. And as a white player, well, you know, I'm not a white player, but as a player who was playing white, there's not many ways to get any mana ramp in white. I try my best with artifacts and another card you'll see later, but white is just not known for being able to accelerate very well. So my non-basics, we have Ancient Den. He's really good at turning on Metalcraft. It can get blown up, but if they're blowing up an artifact land instead of a sword, I'm usually pretty happy. Iganjo Castle. 2 damage is not really that much, but it's it's a non-basic. That's the only problem with it. Like, there's not really a reason not to play it. There are some situations where it might help, but I mean, I've never really used it. It's like a why not card. Eh, eh, eh. Tell the False God, one of the only ways to actually accelerate mana. Just great land in EDH. Any amount of colors can play this, really. It's just a good land. Accelerate. It's fun. Bear Druin. When people blow my shit up, and I need to get it back. Gets back swords, gets back Mimic Vats, gets back Soul Rings, bunch of stuff that's just really good in the deck. Can even get back a Wormcoil Engine, so it's a good card. I wouldn't... Like, there's no reason not to play it if you're playing heavy artifacts. Because my lands are so pretty much weak, I have to have a pretty heavy land destruction package so that no one else's lands can really screw me. I've been just killed by a top deck Rogue's Passage in Omnath. You know who I'm talking about. I've been killed by the Urborg thing where they have just a ton of lands, or a ton of mana from swamps. Just ridiculousness like that. So I really just need a way to blow stuff up. Then we have Tech Edge, which is just as good. It's not necessarily better or worse than Ghost Quarter. Sure, with Ghost Quarter they can go get a land, but in EDH that doesn't matter too much, especially since it's basic. There are a lot of non-basic lands in EDH anyway, so it's not like the non-basic restriction on this is too hard. Same with the 4 lands restriction. It's a land that blows lands up. It's completely necessary. I'm probably going to end up getting even more land destruction cards. I know there's a spoiler in M14, dating the video, you know, that is essentially Tech Edge, and I'm probably going to put it in this deck. I have a lot of colorless cards. A lot of my white spells are double white, but I've never really run into a problem with it. So, then of course we have the good old-fashioned strip mine. Just blow up a land. This plus Sun Titan is just so fun. It's fantastic to be able to get multiple uses out of this. I just wish Life from the Loam was a white card, so I could literally just get my land destruction cards back and just blow up lands. It's a great card. Except I have it white bordered. Terrain Generator, another way to just get lands on the field. This combos with another card in the deck, Endless Horizons. So I'll just keep getting extra planes, and I'll just be able to put them onto the field for free. It's good ramp. So Inkmoth Nexus is one of my few man lands. A lot of people would say that I'm just splitting up normal damage and infect damage, but infect damage in Commander is still 10, so you have to do a fourth of the damage. So I find splitting it up fine. He's easily just, you equip swords to him pretty fine, and he just beats in. I've killed plenty of people with Inkmoth Nexus alone. Like, I have no creatures, and just top deck Inkmoth Nexus and be able to suit him up. I think it's a fine card. I just got a Blinkmoth Nexus. I might put Blinkmoth Nexus in as well, but I'm not necessarily a fan of Blinkmoth Nexus because he still has to deal the 40 damage. Inkmoth Nexus, you can just kill someone out of nowhere, so that's why I like it. I then had the Cycle lands, Secluded Steppe and Drifting Meadow. It's really sad when I have to use them as lands. I prefer to just use them as essentially filtered cards, but you know, it is what it is. They're good for what they are. They're either a land if I really need them, or I have one less card in my deck. So they're both good. Another artifact land, except this one cannot be destroyed, but instead it taps for colorless. It's same reason the other one, for Metalcraft or Affinity stuff. Just good card. Now, Core Haven is one that I recently discovered that I really enjoy. It prevents all the combat damage that would be dealt by a target attacking creature. This can save you from a non-hexproof, non-shroud commander. If you're in a playgroup with just like big, beefy commanders that don't really protect themselves, they just swing, this card is great. You don't have to use a blocker for it. You can just you just fog that commander. And some decks, I'm sure, just play commanders and try to kill with them. and they don't protect the commander in any way. They just try to kill you with trample or maybe evasion or something. This just says shut up and go away. So it's a land fog. It's repeatable land fog. That's why I like it. Amiri the Sky Ruin is a great card in mono white because getting 7 more planes not that difficult, especially in EDH where you're going long. Being able to continually get your creatures back after wraths, after targeted removal, anything like that, after blocks or something like that, is just really beneficial. This plus any enter the battlefield creature is pretty fine, especially if you can find a way to get them killed. You'll just be able to cycle the cards over and over, and it's just a really valuable card to have, I think. Onto a hilarious card in my deck, Forbidding Watchtower. It's a 1/5. I thought I needed another land. Man land. It's a 1/5. Deal with it. Then I run the 21 full art John Avon Zen lands. Now you might be asking, why are these not foil? Why are these not unhinged land? Why are these not unglued lands? Why are these not guru lands? Because I like these lands and I don't feel like getting them foiled. There's 21 lands I have to foil. I don't want to. I'm lazy. I'm poor. I don't want to. Deal with it. They're pimped enough. I enjoy playing them. People like seeing them because they're John Avon. They're pretty. Fucking deal with it. On to the creatures. I realized doing this, I don't have as many creatures as I thought I did, which is really awkward. I might have to pay more attention next time I play, see if I'm ever too creature light. But, Mom. Mom's good. Mom's great. Mom protects things. Mom also carries equipment very well. There's no reason not to play this card. Sarah Ascendant. People think she's broken. I have no fucking idea. I agree. But until they ban it, I'm going to keep playing it. There have been countless times where I've turn 1 Sarah Ascendant, turn 2 Skull Clamp, turn 3 Soul Ring plus Umezawa's Jitte. They just couldn't do anything. At this point, had tons of life. If they killed her, like if she were to die, I would get cards, so it's not like I was wasting cards by doing it. And just getting early counters on Jitte. It's just a really sweet card, can come down early. Even if it comes down late, it's still a good 6/6 flying lifelink. For 1. Like, I mean, it's just that good. Carries equipment like a champ. It's fantastic. Weathered Wayfarer. As we are playing not many lands, Weathered Wayfarer is just a card that I found out recently. It was suggested to me on MTG Salvation, and I have not been disappointed with it yet. If you have a good enough land count, you can just put swords on it. Otherwise, just gets you all the lands you need. You can use the land ability before you play your land for a turn, because it puts any land into your hand. So, if you're on 4, your opponent's on 5, you can use this first and go get a Temple of the False God, and it's like you didn't do anything. It's incremental land-based card advantage, and I think it's a fantastic card. It's really shined these past couple of months I've been playing EDH. It's a fantastic card. Can carry equipment if you need to. You can sacrifice it late game. Late game, obviously, it's not as good, but it's still a guy who can carry swords. So, Grand Abolisher. I feel like a lot of these cards were put in because I faced a certain deck that pissed me off. So I was playing in Michigan with my cousin, playing a good friendly game of EDH with like tons of people, and someone decided to play Leyline of Anticipation and Seedborn Muse. Ladies and gentlemen, that spells you get a turn on everyone else's turn. I decided that wasn't cool. So you can take your turns on my opponent's turns. I don't care. But on my turn, it's my turn. So fuck you. It's also good against like counter spells and shit like that. So whatever, that too. Pierce of Bowden, free equipment. Or free equips, draw cards, one of my favorite cards. Use them as standard, use them in EDH. I use him in Modern too. I he's awesome. I mean, 2-drop, 2/2, Knight, stuff. He's a great card. Being able to chain equipment's good. Just being able to move around equipment. Not at instant speed. I don't have the Shikari in here. I don't remember her name. Gonna try to look it up and put it on for you. But I can't do it at instant speed. But doing equips for free really frees up your mana. A lot of times you're trying to move equipment around to protect your creatures the best way against your opponents, and Bishop Paladin really just helps you keep up as much mana as you can. It helps you make one guy super huge and then protect the creatures you really need. It's a really good card. To like a taxing card, Leonin Arbiter, there are a lot of search effects in EDH. Tons. Leonin Arbiter is so good in EDH. You might say 2 mana, that's not that much. If you get this in turn 2, their fetch lands mean little. Little to nothing. A lot of times people forget this. They'll remember it when it's too late. They'll sack a fetch land, be like, oh, well, looks like I can't fetch. Awkward. They'll use a tutor. Well, I can't search my library. Awkward. He's just great. The 2 mana, if nothing else, if, at the bare minimum, slows them down enough where I can beat their face in and they'll die. Leonin Arbiter, perfect card. However, does not combo with Stoneforge Mystic. They're not exactly best friends, but paying 4 mana for a Stoneforge Mystic to get an equipment is not really that big of a deal. So we're just gonna ignore that little disinteraction. Stoneforge Mystic. Good card. Not gonna fucking say anything else. It gets a sword. Shut the hell up. Put it under a Mimic Vat. Genius. Put this under a Mimic Vat when you have a Pre-Show Paladin out. Fucking genius. Kemba. I experimented with Kemba as the general. She did okay. In games where I had a really heavy equipment hand, she was good. In games where I didn't, she wasn't as good. She was a little mediocre. But as a 3-mana 2/4 who makes more creatures, she's really good as just a card in the deck. Loading her up with even like 2 equipment, even just one is fine. Being able to just get incremental creatures is just very, very good. You don't have to commit any more dudes to the board. It speeds up your opponent's clock. She's just a decent card. A 3-mana 2/4 is honestly not that bad. You might be thinking it's small, but it's not often that I have no equipments. So now Man Crusader, he's the real beater in this deck. If you can put any number of swords or Jite on this guy, it is just absolutely bonkers. Getting double triggers off any of those equipments are just completely insane. I have at times had this with which one was it? A Sword of War and Peace. Getting double Sword of War and Peace trigger is so fun against any like blue player, any player who has a ton of land or a ton of cards in hand. It's just so good. It has protection from the biggest of guys, so it can survive. It can block really profitably. It can swing through. It has protection from a good removal color. It's an all-around fantastic card. Another taxing card, even Mind Sensor. Possibly better than Leonin Arbiter. Possibly worse. It has flash, so you can really you can get them. You can just get them when they try to do something. You're like, nope, top 4 instead. It's a little upsetting when they do get what they're looking for in the top 4 cards. But it's a flyer, so it has evasion, whatever. It costs 1 more mana. It's a little weaker. It's smaller. It's a 2/1. That stat doesn't really matter too much. But it's a taxing dude. It makes it so, once again, the shuffle effects that were already mentioned are just even worse. Since the meta, I'll call it, I guess, I don't know, of EDH is a lot of just shuffling early game. Getting this early is really good, especially getting it with Leonin Arbiter. There have been games where I've done that, and people have just been really upset. I don't know why. It's like I was griefing them, but I wasn't. I honestly like this card. I played Death and Taxes in Modern, and trying to get it together in Legacy. It's it's a fun type. I really like playing white weenies, so I like going to the dome with white weenies in the mirror. Joke for a guy to shop. Intrepid Hero. Brought him in because I was being murdered by Omnath. And other just arbitrarily large creatures. He kills all the big boys and girls. It's just, if you want to play big guys, have fun getting them killed. Great utility card. It's 4 greater, so there's plenty of creatures that it hits. It's just a really great card, and I've really been happy with it since I put it in. Linvala, Keeper of Silence. There's a lot of activated abilities on creatures in Commander, especially like Dead Navigator is one of the bigger ones. This just stops that; they just can't be activated, and it allows your creatures to still use their activated abilities. As a 4-mana 3/4 with flying, it's just a good sword holder. Like the card requirements for creatures in this deck is: does it do something good for you or bad for the opponent? Can it hold a sword well? If yes to both of those questions, it's in the deck. Or, well, I've tried to make it in the deck. There's so many things I've had to cut over the years. It makes me sad. But Linvala is really good. If you're in a meta with a lot of generals who use activated abilities, this can easily be your general. She's absolutely fine. And she's a really good art. I really like Igor's work on this. Some more taxation locks it on Gatekeeper. Kismet effect. Artifacts, creatures, and lands your opponent's control come into play taps. 2 mana, or 4 mana, 2/3. Perfectly fine. Can hold equipment. No evasion, but, you know, it's an elephant. Deal with it. Should have trample. Doesn't. Don't care. It's a good card. Stops your opponent's mana acceleration. Stops them from having hasty dudes, I guess. Not sure when that's going to matter. And it makes so their lands come into play tap, which is probably the most important thing. Fetch lands, just playing their land for turn, it just slows them down a turn, each turn, which is really good. Even more taxation, Windborn Muse. Ghostly Prison on a Stick. Can fly, carries a sword. It's a good card. That's all I gotta say about it. Archon of Justice. Now, I had this in my original deck. I took it out. I decided to put it back in. It is fantastic in almost every situation. Either it carries a sword because your opponent doesn't want it to die, or it stays back and blocks, and your opponents don't attack because they don't want you to remove their biggest threat. And it's any permanent, so if there's a crazy land in play, if there's a crazy enchantment, a crazy creature, it just gets rid of any problem. And if you can put it under Mimic Vat and have some sort of sacrifice outlet, then this is actually, I don't know if that works. It does indeed work. So yeah, it's great. I really like the remove target permanent. It's really good. There's really no downside to it. It's a 5 mana 4/4 with flying other way. So the good old Baneslayer Angel. She has not disappointed me yet. Protection from 2 of the bigger creatures in EDH. Flying, First Strike, and Lifelink, all really great abilities. 5 mana 5/5, flyer, carries swords like a champ. There's almost nothing to say about this card except her wings seem too small. Like really, look at this art. Her wings seem a little too small. It's weird. Oh well. Sun Titan, he's a champ. He gets back swords, he gets back dudes, he gets back lands. He's a Titan. Oh, by the way, he carries a sword really nice. Vigilance. Fucking swag Titan. I'm sorry for that. This is the card that I put in here because, I mean, so many people have started playing insta-win decks or decks that can just win out of nowhere. So I felt that being a mono-white deck, I already had kind of a weakened status. I really needed something that can just say, you know what, guys? I'm going to end this game in 1 turn if you don't kill me. Deal with my dude or I win. I don't often cast this guy unless, like, the game is going out long or someone's, like, threatening to just win quick. So, I mean, if nothing else, he's a 6 mana 4/6 Vigilance Lifelink, so he's a good card, but I really only put him in the deck so I can insta-win if someone's threatening to do the same. So, he's kind of just a hedge card. Runkle Engine, on the other hand, fantastic card. Great in Wraths. Great with a sword. Colorless, so if I get Iona'd, I can still cast it. It's a great card. Love Runkle Engine. Putting this under Mimic Vat plus Sacrifice Outlet, great. Mimic Vat's awesome. Elish Norn, half board wipe, half creature pump. She's everything I've wanted. What? That didn't sound creepy. I mean, what? Anyway, really love Elish Norn. She can also be your general if your playgroup is a little more casual or a little slower. She's definitely a fine card. The art, Igor, you did a fantastic job once again, my good bud. It's just so pretty. It's a great card. I really like it. 7 mana for not exactly doing much. Might be seen as bad, but I've not been disappointed with her, like, ever. Now, Akroma. We've had some times. She used to be my commander. But I'm just not feeling it as much anymore. Protection from black and red, really good. Flying, First Strike, Vigilance, Trample, Haste. I mean, she has all the abilities. Sword her up is really good. But at 8 mana, I just don't know. She doesn't often win me the game too much. The art is so good, I might just keep it in. I might see, whenever I play Commander, I'm just going to look. I'm going to see if Iona will be better. I took Iona out. A lot of people were not exactly fond of Iona. So I took her out and I left Akroma in. But if I keep getting Akroma and wanting Iona instead, I think I'm going to make the switch. Once again, she's good if your playgroup's a little more casual or slow. She's an 8 drop, so if she dies, she's gonna be sad because you're gonna wait to 8 mana and then you're gonna cast it and then you can't do anything because it's 10 mana. It's too much. But she's awesome. I love the art. Dang. Now for all of the lows of spells in my deck, we're starting off with Equipment, Basilisk Collar, Death Touch Lifelink. What else do you want? Makes it so your opponents don't want to block. Makes it so you can leave back a blocker, kill anything you want. It's a great card. Putting it on any big pumped up dude gives you tons of life. Great card. Skull Clamp. It's broken. I'm not gonna even say anything about it. If stuff dies, I get cards. Just deal with it. Lightning Greaves, Protection. I might try out Swiftfoot Boots in its place because I have come into the problem where I've had one guy relatively suited up with a Lightning Greaves on it, but I draw another equipment, no other creatures in hand, so I'm kind of just stuck with a Lightning Greaves on a guy, and I can't boost my guy anymore. So I might try Swiftfoot Boots. The equip isn't free, which, is a little sad, but it's not too bad. The Hexproof might help in some situations. I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna see during my EDH gameplays which I like better, and I'll decide from there. Jitte. Even in EDH, this card's fantastic. It just does things. It's an equipment charm. What can I say? It's awesome. I don't like the art that much though. It's a moon and a sword, really tiny sword. It's alright, I guess. Now for the sword. Sword of Body and Mind, Sword of Feast and Famine, Sword of Light and Shadow. We'll get to that in a second. The new Sword of Fire, nice. Sword of War and Peace. You see nothing. So I play all 5 of the swords. Some might say Sword of Body and Mind is the baby brother who should really shut up and get out. But I really like him. I think he's fine. I just like all the swords. The protection's great. The abilities are great. The cost is perfect. I need the new art of this to match these ones. Blah! I'll get it eventually, but whatever. Until then, swords are swords. Swords are great. Swords are awesome. In most of my matches, I'll get a sword depending on with Stoneforge Mystic, I'll get a sword depending on the amount of that color. So say I'm playing a red, black, green, green, red, blue, red, white, black. I'll probably get red, white, or red, blue, in that situation. I usually just try to get the sword with the most protection from the board. So, ThyrixSyx. This just makes my dudes huge. It's usually given me like a +10 boost. It's each land on the battlefield, so it counts your opponents as well. The imprint is not that bad because you're searching a library for a land instead of like one from your hand. So it's good card. It's a 3 mana and equip 3. It's a little pricey, but it's a completely fine equipment. Quiet as Spike. Now some people might think that Quiet as Spike doesn't do work. Quiet as Spike does work. Quiet as Spike, Death Touch, doesn't matter. If you hit them with any creature, cut their life in half. It is insane bonkers. I have taken people from upwards of 100-something life down super far. I'll have swords with this. I'll have a large double-striking creature. Their life is just gone. It's so good. Champion Helm gives hexproof +2/+2 to a legendary creature. I mean, it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Anyway, Batterskull. This fucking Batterskull. The hell do you... It's a creature when I need it to be. It's +4/+4 Vigilance and Lifelink when I need it to be. If shit's getting real, return it to my hand. I'll cast it again. I'll fucking do whatever. It's Batterskull. Fuck off. Bleh. I had this with the equips because I didn't really know where to put it. I just like Angelic Destiny. 1, art, fantastic. 2, it's a sizable buff. I mean, flying first strike +4/+4, pretty decent. And it doesn't have that 2-for-1 feel. When the enchanted creature dies, you get it back in your hand. So it's kind of Rancor-y. So it's good. I like it. On to the removal, we have Path to Exile and Swords to Plowshares, the good, just 1-for-1 removal. I didn't originally run these, but I've realized that EDH is not as much about mass removal as people might think. There are plenty of creatures that you just want to be able to get rid of, and these cards do a pretty good job of it. A relatively new inclusion, we have Renounce the Guilds. I'm playing monocolors. Almost everyone else plays multicolored. This card is almost always a 3-for-1, 4-for-1. People's generals are multicolored, just random utility creatures. And it's not just creatures, it's also permanent, so you can get aura shards, you can get things like that. It's just a really solid card. I really enjoy having it in the deck. I've only been able to use it like once, because I haven't played EDH too much since I put this card in. But I definitely know that as soon as I get back to my main play group, that this will be the nuts. Return to Dust is a fantastic artifact or enchantment removal spell. If you really need to do instant speed, you can. I almost never do. I usually just use it to get rid of the 2 most egregious cards on the battlefield. It's perfect for all situations. Oblation. I like Return to Dust a little better. Oblation's fine because you can get generals with it. You can make them shuffle. I have been oblated and gotten the exact card they oblated. It was pretty funny. And that happens sometimes. I mean, shit happens. Oblation's a fantastic card, though. I mean, you can use it on your own card, like, that you don't need anymore. Like, use on a Weathered Wayfarer to draw 2 cards. And that's perfectly fine to do. White doesn't have too much, like, card advantage, so doing that is not that bad. Other than that, it's just a good removal spell. I then have my enchantment-based removal spells. I have Oblivion Ring, Faith's Fetters, and Prison Term. Now, I like Prison Term because you can move it around. So, if you use it on the biggest threat on the field, it might not stay the biggest threat. And with something like Faith's Fetters or Oblivion Ring, you can't move them around afterwards. So being able to go from, oh, well, right now Kali is the biggest threat, but hey, what's that large Eldrazi doing over there? I'm just gonna go put him in prison. It's a great strategy. And if you really need to, you can put it on your own indestructible creature. So if you're fearing like a board wipe is coming soon, you can just play an indestructible creature. I don't really run any, but if you do, whatever. And then you could wrap the board, or someone else can wrap the board, and then the next threat to come out. Not not exactly the best thing, but, you know, tricky stuff like that is why I like Magic, so. Face Fetters. You gain 4 life, it enchants a permanent. So it stops some lands, it stops some Planeswalkers. I like it because it's enchant permanent. I used to have Recumbent Bliss in here. I liked the one life gain a turn, but it wasn't really doing too much, so I switched to Faith Fetters, and I haven't really looked back. It's a really good card. Oblivion Ring, just like Faith Fetters, you can get rid of almost anything. It's non-land. There's some blink shenanigans you can do with it, but it's not too prevalent. Just being able to exile something. Now, if you use this and then someone like destroys all creatures and enchantments, then it's possible that they'll get their stuff back, but it's not usually too big of a deal. They'll have to use a piece of their removal on this. So you're not getting a 2-for-1 or anything. It's not that bad. My mass destruction, I have Austere Command, which is probably my favorite because I really like choices, and this is one of the best. Often I don't destroy all artifacts because obviously I'm playing an equipment deck. I don't like doing that. Usually I'll either wipe the full board or I'll get rid of like a lot of enchantments or stuff. It's just a fantastic board wipe. Catastrophe. I have actually used this to destroy all lands. When using Endless Horizons plus this card, it's perfectly fine to be like, I'll blow up all the lands. I'm going to get guaranteed lands every turn. Now, someone, of course, could in response blow up your Endless Horizons, but who cares? You're mono white, you're probably going to be able to cast things before they can, because they've probably already cast their ramp spells, and they're all their small spells. So, you'll probably be in a better position. This also is just 6 mana destroy all creatures. So, for 1 more mana, destroy all the creatures but yours. It'll blow up your Germ Token or your Wormcoil Engine, but let's be honest, who cares? Destroying all non-white creatures is pretty good. Of course, with EDH being a multicolor format, it's very possible that you'll just not whiff, but there'll be a couple creatures left alive because they're white and something else. But it's a perfectly reasonable thing. Martial Coup is another one of my board wipes. Almost forgot about it. It's not very powerful, but you have to pay essentially 7 for it. You have to look at it as a 7 mana wrath, because it only wraths if you pay 7 for it, and at that point you're getting 5 1/1 white soldiers, so it's not a complete wrath. It's a great card. Blind Obedience, oh my god, how good is this card? Extort and EDH, fantastic. I'm playing white weenies, so I have plenty of mana to spare when I cast my spells. Once again, slows down artifacts and creatures just like any other Kismet effect. Great card. Ghostly Prison, against the token aggro strategies, against just like the normal all-out creature aggro strategies, this card is just fantastic. It's awesome. Once again, a hedge to other Voltron and Omnath type decks. This is a recent find. I really enjoy it. Yes, it can hurt me because I'm not going to be able to deal a large amount of damage in one turn. But this I'm usually playing if I'm already behind. And if I'm already behind, this card can really just get me back into a point where I can take the game over. I really have enjoyed this card so far. And if you're playing mono white or even some sort of like Pillow Fort deck, I definitely suggest checking this out. It's Divine Presence. It's a great card. Top. What can I say? It's fucking top. It's top tippers. Boop. Top tipping Torpor Orb is next. Torpor Orb just stops all the things. This isn't a deck with a lot of end of the battlefield effects. I know we have like Sun Titan, we have a little Stoneforge Mystic. Other than that, though, we don't have too much, and this card just stops everything. It turns all their creatures into just vanilla dudes. Not all of them. It turns a lot of them into just vanilla dudes. It's a great card, and it's for 2 mana, so. Ming Vet, as mentioned earlier, is great. I didn't used to have this card in the deck because I didn't have much end of the battlefield stuff, but I realized, just take their stuff. It stops some graveyard shenanigans because you can, if they're trying to get something killed, you can just steal it from their graveyard. It's really good. Endless Horizons. If you play this card, don't ever get all of your lands. Get like between 10 and 15. Getting all your lands is a bad idea. I've done it before, gotten it blown up, and then just have been sad. Endless Horizon is a fine card otherwise. It is virtual card advantage. It gets you a land a turn. It's really good. Soul Ring. Yeah. Thrown Dynamo. Yeah. Now, this should be an Enlightened Tutor. I don't have an Enlightened Tutor. What do you want me to do about it? There's not many tutors in white. Enlightened Tutor's good. It can get me an enchantment I need. It can get me an equipment I need, but this fucking... I mean, it puts it onto the creature, but as I'm playing not that many creatures, often this doesn't go off for a long time, if at all. So, I need to get a better card than this. Steel Shepherd Gift, on the other hand, is a perfectly fine card. Get a creature, or enchantment. It's fine. What can I say about this card? I cannot count the times where I've had turn 1 Saracendant, turn 2 Luminarch Ascension, and just had my opponent's scoop. Now, of course, those aren't fun games, but it's impressive. Like, just being able to make them scoop on turn 2 in EDH is not a good feat unless you're, like, playing combo. And if you're playing infinite combo in turn 2, you're an asshole. And fuck yourself. But this card, really good. Usually it'll draw hate, but that's fine. It's hate that's not being drawn to your swords or your other important enchantments. If you can land it on turn 2 in a 5-player game, it's immediately active. Because who's fucking attacking on turn 2? So you'll just, at this point, just fucking get 4/4 Angels. It's awesome. Another way to get fucking 4/4 Angels, entreat the Angels. In EDH, I have done this for like, I don't know, 11. It's bonkers. It's just bonkers. It's so good. So good. I entreat you to not entreat the Angels. And last, but very not least, we have my Planeswalker package. Now, a lot of people say Planeswalkers are just not as good in EDH because people hate on them. They're immediately attacked. But I'm kind of fine with that. None of these Planeswalkers really are that weak. Elspeth can make your guys bigger, hasten up the clock, make a guy for you if you need. And if you can get the emblem out, your stuff is just fucking indestructible. It's great. Gideon can be his own guy, can destroy generals, can essentially fog for the turn. It's also fantastic. Karn exiles problem things. If you are going up against Iona, but like they're not really killing you, I don't know why if they have an Iona and they're not killing you, but what the fuck ever, we're gonna ignore that. He can save you from that. He can come down and exile that. He can exile stuff from people's hands. Don't restart the game, you'll lose all your friends, but you know, with that it wraps this up, and talk to you in a second. So that was the deck, guys. Hoped it was enjoyable to look at a mono white deck. A lot of people don't play mono colors in EDH. A lot of the times, especially not mono white. If it's mono, it's usually like mono black, mono green, or mono blue. Because they have like either the card draw the ramp or the tutors to make it good. But I play EDH for fun. I play constructed to be competitive, so that doesn't really affect me. Playing white's just fun. If you play EDH, a lot of the times it's a 3-color deck. Like 3 colors are just kind of the mainstay. 2 colors kind of, but 3 colors are usually what people do. I think every other one of my commander decks is a 3-color. So I would like to switch out a few cards for some of the things. Maybe like a Hallowed Burial for the Mascal Spies ahead. Just stuff like that. I do want to get the new Sword of Light and Shadow. I like the art better. It's matching art. I'm weird. As you saw, all my lands were matching, so, you know, good times. Oh, and I still can end videos.